Officials from the Texas Department of Public Safety are giving a briefing as we speak on the latest in the investigation of that mass shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde that took the lives of 19 children and 2 teachers. It comes as the grief for so many families there is being compounded by both frustration and outrage amid growing questions about the police response, specifically the timeline and whether they waited too long, by some accounts up to an hour, before entering the classroom to stop the shooter. Let's listen.
Former Republican nominee for the U.S. Senate way back in 2020, a woman named, let me get this right, Lauren Witzke, sorry to the Witzke family if I mispronounced that. She went on a program called Crosstalk News recently to talk about the horrific tragedy, mass shooting / massacre that happened to 21 teachers and children in Uvalde, Texas. She's up there, of course, because she's one of the crazies from the extreme right-wing wingnut bunch. She's up there peddling a conspiracy theory, one in which involves the U.S. federal government. Now, what agency, I don't know. Like, it's not like the federal government isn't this sprawling entity. She just says the federal government is part of a plot, and they conspired to kill all of those people in Texas.
And there's no limit to how far they'll go.
There's
no limit to how far they'll go to change the public narrative on things. And, so I think it was multifaceted. Of course, it was a federal operation in order to implement gun control. Now even the GOP is fighting for it. Fox News is calling for it. Not 1 inch. Do not give them 1 inch because they'll take the whole thing.
You might ask yourself, why would our government do such a crazy thing? Why would they just massacre their own citizens in Texas and, in the super secret plot? Because obviously that's what it would have to be. Why would they do that? Well, according to Ms. Witzke, it's because Hispanics are leaving the Democratic Party in droves.
Like, okay, why? What do they gain from this? Besides the gun control push. But also, Hispanics are starting to vote Republican and conservative. They specifically targeted a school in an area that is majority Hispanic. It's essentially Mexico is what it is.
And so not only does this have the gun control element to it, this is, for some reason, Hispanics, Latinx, however we want to characterize these people, they will more likely vote Democrat because their kids got killed. I don't understand this. Like, it's kind of ridiculous on like several different levels and factors. First of which being like this categorization of Hispanic people as this one thing, this one monolith, is quite ridiculous. There's a multitude of people in the United States, like a vast sort of varying group of people, diverse, if you will, who we consider to be Latinx or Hispanic, right? There's a difference between the Cubans and Venezuelans of Miami.
In general, Latinos probably feel more comfortable with the Democratic Party, but there's some pieces of the Democratic Party agenda that we Latinos in general don't embrace. We are conservative when it comes to family values, for instance. On the other hand, we want a piece of the American dream. We want job opportunities. We want business opportunities. We want to move ahead. We don't want necessarily government handouts.
Between Puerto Ricans in Central Florida or Puerto Ricans in New York City, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Dominicans in Boston, Mexican people in California, Mexican people in Texas, first generation Mexican people, second and third generation Mexican people. You get the idea of what I'm saying. Like this idea that we can categorize all of the people that we call Latinx as under this one umbrella is stupid just on its face because of how diverse that population of people are. And because they're diverse, obviously their interests and leanings are going to be diverse as well. So this idea that you could do this one thing and get this massive group of people on your side is ridiculous. The other part of this that I find to be hyper ridiculous about this, just insanely stupid and reckless, is that the people who would benefit from Latinx people leaving, stop voting for the GOP is the Democrats who, since Joe Biden took office, have had control of the federal government. So you mean to tell me, rather than, I don't know, pass legislation that might entice people to vote for them and like them and think favorably of them, they would rather carry out a secret plot in which they massacre children?
And there's no limit to how far they'll go.
Oh,
there's
sure.
no limit to how far they'll go to change the public narrative.
Those two things just seem incongruent to me and don't hold much water. It just doesn't make any sense. So, like, this idea that the feckless, useless Democratic Party, in order to get votes, instead of just passing legislation, they go the route of a secret plot that would have to involve a bunch of people keeping this on the down low. It's just absurd, but I don't know. I guess it just speaks to the level of ridiculousness of the right wing of this party, of this country, at this current moment.